Hail me, full of grace. The Lord is with me. Blessed am I among women. On a nicer note, someone told me the rosary is Mary's photo album. She goes back, and I thought that's a nice way to do it. So anyway, so the Blessed Mother comes out. They're all falling to the knees. The Blessed Mother goes up on the powder blue carpet with the silver stripes, bends down to the Jesuit, hugs him, and says, "Thank you for being a good Catholic. Welcome to heaven." So the Jesuit's like near tears, and then there's this huge trumpet blast. Out rolls this white carpet with gold trim, and out comes Jesus Christ. So the Jesuit's just dumbstruck. And Jesus Christ himself, imagine, walks out, goes up to the Jesuit, bends down, hugs him, and says, "Thank you for being a good Christian. Welcome to heaven." The Jesuit bursts into tears. They all sort of pull him up. The Jesuit saints and St. Ignatius and the Blessed Mother and Jesus hug him, and they're all singing. They sing St. Louis Jesuit songs, which is what they sing in heaven, except they don't sing "Be Not Afraid." They don't sing that. They sing City of God, actually. So they're singing City of God, and they're so happy, and they go back in, and they're dancing, and it's just fantastic, and the trumpet's playing, and the harp music, and the other music, the piano music, and the Franciscan's just like amazed. He's very happy for his friend. And the white carpet rolls up, and the powder blue carpet rolls up, and the red carpet rolls up, and the big solid gold gates of heaven close, and the clouds come back, and the Franciscan's left there by himself. So he is I couldn't believe it. He's never seen anything like that. So he starts to think, wow, who's going to come see me? You know, I wonder what saints, and he starts to think, I want to say something. I don't want to be just, silent like that stupid Jesuit was. I want to think of something to say. So who's going to come see me? And he's thinking, oh, I bet, I love Bonaventure. I love Bonaventure. And maybe Clare. Oh, I love Clare of Assisi. So beautiful. And St. Anthony, I'm going to have to thank him for all those keys that he found for me. And Francis, and what am I going to say to Francis? I love Francis so much. And what am I going to say to the Blessed Mother? I love her. And what am I going to say to Jesus? So he comes up with some nice things he's going to say, some thank yous and all this, and he gets it all down. And he's waiting, and it's like a half an hour, and he looks at his watch, and, because they're technically not in heaven yet, there's still time. And so he waits, and it's like an hour. It's an hour, and there's nothing happening. And he's sort of looking, and then it's 2 hours, 3 hours, and he's starting to get a little ticked off. Like, come on, how hard is it to, it's heaven, how hard is it to gather all these people? So after 4 hours, imagine 4 hours, this little side door opens up. And this little saint says, little Franciscan saint comes out, who he doesn't even know because there's so many Franciscan saints. With a little halo and a brown robe, and little saint says, "Hey." And the Franciscan's looking around to see if the saints are going to come out, or maybe they're coming out this other door with Mary. And so the little saint says, "Come here." So the Franciscan goes up and goes to the little door, and he's looking around. And the little saint says, "Welcome to heaven." And the Franciscan said, "Is that it?" And the little saint says, "What do you mean?" He goes, "Oh, come on." He said, "Don't give me that." He said, "I worked my butt off." And he said, "And the Jesuit gets the carpets and the saints and his founder and the Blessed Mother and Jesus, and all I get is this?" And the little saint says, "Oh, yeah." He says, "Well, you have to remember something." He says, "We get Franciscans up here every day. We haven't had a Jesuit in 150 years. One more joke. I think this is my favorite. So I like to make them hard for me. So a Jesuit, a Dominican, a Franciscan, a Sister of St. Joseph, and a diocesan priest are all going to BC, the big Catholic conference. And they're all arguing. They're arguing about something. And boom, the Jesuit is driving, runs off Comm Ave, hits a telephone pole, right to heaven. My sister said, the moral of your jokes is never get into a car with a priest or a religious. So, there they are. all 5 of them, in front of those puffy white clouds and the big golden gate. And St. Peter comes out and says, whoa. He says, we don't normally get 5 of you guys all at once. And there's kind of a complicated Q&A that I go through for priests and religious. So, I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to bring you in right into God's throne room, and God is going to ask you one question. And that will determine whether or not you go to heaven or purgatory. Because obviously hell is not an option for these people. Which is why I entered religious life. So, one question. So the big doors open and they go in. And then another set of doors open and they pass through that holding room. And then another set of doors and another set of doors. Finally, this huge set of doors opens up. And it's God's throne room, which is vast. It's just as far as you can see. It's all marble, and it has marble walls, and there's angels flying around, singing St. Louis Jesuit songs, which is, of course, everybody's idea of heaven. And in the middle of the throne room is a 20-foot golden, diamond-encrusted throne on which sits God, who is 10 feet tall, which is how tall God actually is. And so I need my mic for this. So God motions to the 5 to come forward, and they're terrified. And God looks at all 5 of them, the Dominican, the Franciscan, the Jesuit, the SSJ, and the diocesan priest. And he turns to the Dominican and he says, "Son of Saint Dominic, what do you believe?" And the Dominican says, "I believe in one God, the Father, the Almighty, maker of heaven and earth. And I also believe that I need your forgiveness to enter into the kingdom of heaven." "Good answer, son of Saint Dominic. Welcome to heaven." He motions him in. And he looks down at the Franciscan and he says, "Son of Saint Francis of Assisi, what do you believe in?" And the Franciscan says, I believe in your son Jesus, who came to work with the poor, which is why I spent my entire life working with the poor. And I also believe I need your forgiveness to enter into heaven." "Good answer, son of Saint Francis of Assisi. Welcome to heaven." And he looks at the sister of Saint Joseph and he says, "Daughter of Saint Joseph, what do you believe in?" And the sister of Saint Joseph says, I believe in education, which is why I spent my entire life educating the youth and why I worked in a grammar school, a high school, and a college. And I also believe I need your forgiveness to enter into heaven." "Good answer, daughter of Saint Joseph. Welcome to heaven." And he looks at the diocesan priest and he says, "Son of Saint John Vianney, what do you believe?" And the parish priest says, "I believe in the sacraments and the sacramental life, which is why I poured myself out in service to the people of God. And I also believe I need your forgiveness to enter into heaven." God says, "Good answer, son of St. John Vianney." And then from his 20-foot golden, diamond-encrusted throne, he looks down at the Jesuit and he says, "Son of St. Ignatius Loyola, what do you believe?" And the Jesuit says, I believe you're in my seat." Thank you very much. Thank you. Now we have time for questions before you rush to buy books for your family. And if there aren't enough, please go on Amazon immediately. So any questions, comments? I'll tell another few Jesuit jokes. Let me tell you one more joke. So the sister says to me, "Why do you never tell nun jokes, sister jokes?" I said, "I am not telling a sister joke. I can tell a joke on the Jesuits or on priests or on Catholics, but I'm not going to tell a joke about sisters." She says, "Here's one you can tell, because the sisters come out on top." Then we'll go to the questions. So there's a convent of Carmelite sisters. They're cloistered, and they get this